What's up, everybody? This is the Anime Squad Podcast, episode 52. My name is Robbie.
And this is Omar.
And this is David.
And before we begin, I just want to mention that this is, of course, the actual last week of our winter season of anime. The only carryovers that we're going to be having is, of course, Dragon Quest Dai and High Rise Invasion.
Yes.
Everything else is going to be a clean slate, so can't wait for you guys to check us out for that.
Yes, it's going to be the finale of this great season of animes.
Yeah, and also to add in, we also have other anime that we all saw on our own that we're going to be mentioning towards the end of our anime to just kind of like fill in the gap of what's to come or kind of what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be some anime that's going to be familiar, some not so much, but can't wait to talk about that as well. And of course, we have timestamps as usual, so if you guys would like to skip ahead to any particular part that interests you, that might not interest you guys in the current space, you guys are free to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we have all that out of the way, let's get started.
And also your video as well.
Oh yes, and of course, I almost left out the most important part of this whole thing. Episode 2 of Anime Throwbacks is out, so be sure to watch that. We got links down below in case you haven't checked it out.
It's a real good one.
Yep, it's about me and Josh talking about a good old classic. All right, now we can kick things off. And starting off, we're going to be talking about this really cool show that I guess David showed us.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Invincible.
Yes, episode 1.
Episode 1. A little background to this show. It's a show written by the writer of The Walking Dead.
Yes.
You couldn't be able to tell that this was made by The Walking Dead at first because for the most part, this The premise of this show is a lot like something like Sky High, in that it's about a kid who's about to graduate high school, going on to college, and his dad happens to be Superman, basically. He's Omni-Man, voiced by J.K. Simmons.
Yes.
And he's Superman. He came from an alien planet. He has super strength. He can fly. He has laser beam, vision and stuff, and he's basically the world's best hero. He's All Might. Yeah,
basically. Like it's it kind of feels like at home if you watch like a bunch of DC shows or movies. Like, oh yeah, it's right at that alley. Like, especially in the beginning scenes, like it's just like you see these heroes all around. It's like, oh look, they might be the Justice League and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you got your Aquaman, you got your Wonder Woman, you got your Martian Manhunter, Flash. You got all of them.
Yep. So that but it was an interesting twist with the kid, Mark.
Yes,
he's our main character, and how it's just like you said, like he does have his powers, but like it becomes coming together like Sky High, and I really like the whole training, the whole trying to understand his powers, because not a lot, but like there's some shows, but not a lot of shows they dive in deep with like trying to learn the basics of the superpowers, like flying or strength. And this one does a really good job of showing like you can't you can fly, but it's not gonna be just as easy as you think.
It's not natural.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think what this whole training montage kind of reminds me of, it reminds me of that one part in like the later part of Dragon Ball Z, where like Gohan is trying to teach Videl how to fly and how to like shoot ki blasts and stuff. Gohan was like breaking down like how to do those things. It reminds me a lot like that, where it's like you put your forward momentum into your flight. If you want to brake, try to visualize it in your head. It's like it's a lot like that, and and how to throw your weight punches and stuff. So it's really cool to actually see like the insight on that.
Yeah, and
it's crazy too when it comes to combat as well, where people usually have form when they're fighting on land, but on air it's like there's no limit at that point.
It's like you have to use your whole body in order to actually throw your punch.
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
I was pretty amazed on that. I was like, wow, I never thought about that.
And I like the character Mark himself. Like he's a very complex character right off the bat. Like he's kind of like a brat. Like he just wants to like already to be a superhero right off the bat. Like just be like his dad. But like it's not coming all together at once. And I like that kind of like development of like of us getting to him to become the title of the show.
Yeah, and even when he yeeted the trash or whatever from his part-time job, like even after he was able to awaken to his powers, things were still kind of rocky for him. Like he still like has that impossible task to measure up to. You know, his dad being the world's best hero and all that was just, you know, it's a daunting task.
Yeah, and it's very cool to see like deep dive with it.
He was thinking a lot too about this too. Like, am I ever gonna be able to be like my father? You know?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
To a point where he was an ass to his mom.
Yeah.
But he learned too from what his mom said, pretty much. I'm like, I like that when they had that conversation.
Yeah, no. That was, I think, it was my highlight, like of like just them just talking as characters. I think it was really sweet and well. But there's one thing that really stands out this first episode, and keep in mind this is a 45-minute episode.
Oh yeah. These are girthy episodes.
Yeah, like from what we've seen, like of all the episodes, they're all like that length. But like you would think like with the title drop it ends, but like there's a whole like 10 minutes of like something horrible happens.
Oh yeah. I remember.
Because prior to that, going towards the end, we were noticing with our the father.
J.K. Simmons' character's Omni-Man. Yeah.
Omni-Man. He was giving weird vibes throughout the episode.
Something wasn't right.
Something was fishy.
Oh yeah, and the biggest twist to all of this, and this is of course where the whole from the writers and the creators of The Walking Dead comes in, is that last 10 minutes where Omni-Man goes full injustice and starts killing the League.
Yeah, he calls the League to the fortress, I guess.
Yeah, their version of the fortress.
Yeah.
And like it was pretty weird, like who called us, and like it comes up to be Omni-Man, and he does not hold back.
No. He straight up tries to go for the kill.
Yeah.
And it starts with the Flash character, and then immediately one after another just kills them all done.
Gruesome, no hold back. Like, that's where the rated R show kicks in, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, okay, now this is interesting. Where do we go from here? And what is Omni-Man's true plans?
Yeah. And how does Mark, our protagonist, you know, how does he, because pretty much the end of the episode, or the quote unquote end of the episode, pretty much has him fill his role as Invincible, as you know, as his title, you know, as the title claims. But things are looking to be quite interesting from here on forth. So
throughout the whole episode, I was like, damn, this is pretty long. It was not like a damn like, oh, when are we gonna get through this?
No,
it's pretty lengthy.
Yeah, you realize that it's really long. Yeah, but it gives you all the necessary details that you'd expect from a first episode.
Yeah. I think it did a really, really well job in like getting us to like Mark and like who is Omni-Man.
Yeah.
And asking us that big question, like, what is his plan?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a very solid first episode, I think so. And what do you think? First impressions, Ravi?
Really enjoyed it. Like it especially like the last like 10 minutes of and stuff that like kind of gave you the twist. Like combine that with Mark and kind of like how he came to his own and, you know, kind of filling his role as a superhero. It was really solid, really entertaining. Can't wait for more.
yeah.
Especially with that cliffhanger. It's like, come on, you gotta want to know more.
Yes.
You want one?
Yeah, man. I think it really I was already on board when the title drop happened. I was like, oh, dude, he's a cool character. Like,
yeah.
Like he seems like an asshole, but like, you know, that's what makes him kind of like him. And then with the whole ending part, I was like, oh man, I'm really in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I'm sold on this show.
It kind of helps that like J.K. Simmons plays Omni-Man.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, it's just like J. Jonah Jameson like really hates like Spider-Man. So he's just projecting that hate into the League and just like slaughters them all.
I think J.K. Simmons is just a good like he could be a good villain. So.
Oh yeah. Oh definitely.
Yeah.
Good villain.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely. So I'm excited to see how he does this on this show.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For me, the show was interesting because we got with Mark himself. He was thinking a lot over like his life in general. Like, is he gonna be any good in life at times? And that's what I liked about the character so far. Yeah, he was bratty at points, but you know, he hasn't seen that cruel world yet. That one time he got punched by his dad, he felt like assaulted, you know?
Yeah.
Because he never been hit by his family. So with that hit, he was like, oh damn.
Like it prepared him for
Yeah.
like what's to come to
And,
being a superhero.
and that's what the dad was explaining.
Mm.
And I was like, damn.
Oh yeah, really solid
There
episode.
was a lot of deep. How do you say it? Deep
dive.
Yeah, deep dive on what superheroes are in general, like the realistic of superheroes.
No, yeah.
At the beginning part was with the Justice League fighting these
Oh yeah,
weird
with the brutes.
clones. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just sets up the world of like where we at, like superhero wise.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God for that Justice League squad. I didn't really like them.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell that they're meant to be, like, again, knockoffs of the actual Justice League themselves.
Yeah.
And especially compared to Omni-Man himself, it's like, why even have them around if Omni-Man could just, like, do everything better? Especially with that one guy that was, like, I don't know, I guess he was kind of Superman, but he was just basically, like, second-rate Superman. Like, he could kind of fly, he's kind of strong compared to Omni-Man, but it's like, you don't need him.
The guy that I liked was the Flash guy.
Oh yeah, because they actually try to develop him with his love interest and everything. But hey, tragically, he was the first to die.
Yeah, he
It was so cruel the way they died.
Yeah, these deaths were brutal. So
Gotta
watch
the
out for
bad
that.
guy, the Batman type of guy, he ended up getting destroyed off the bat.
He became a pancake. Yeah.
I was like, whoa. It was just like brutal Mortal Kombat fatalities for everyone.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brutal, man. Brutal.
Again, you could definitely tell this is The Walking Dead, and like even like the main character Mark, like he's voiced by Steven Yeun, who plays Glenn in The Walking Dead in the TV show.
Oh damn.
So that's even more connections right there.
But yeah, really check it out. Right now there's 4 episodes out, I think.
Yeah. So
you know our motto here. We're gonna cover week by week.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes from here.
It's gonna be interesting. Can't wait to talk about it more.
Yes. So with that, we move on to the next anime. Now we get to say goodbye to another anime. We have Horimiya. Episode 13.
Yep, and this episode was less about situations, obviously, because this is the last episode, and more about contemplation. What could have been, as well as what's to come,
pretty much through Horimiya's eyes.
Yeah, through Miyamura's eyes.
Yeah,
not.
My bad, Miyamura.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, there was not really a lot of Hori herself. It was just mostly Miyamura. That was it.
And he was contemplating throughout the whole episode, huh?
Yeah, throughout the whole episode. Because the thing is that like it was hinted throughout the whole series itself that like Miyamura has like his own demons and stuff that he kind of had to face. You know, his whole suicidal tendencies that he had back in middle school, his loneliness, his regrets, all that stuff.
It's crazy too that everything was surrounded around him.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Without him, none of this would have happened. You know?
Yeah, his one off chance meeting with Hori's brother was pretty much what kickstarted everything, and he imagined a world where, hey, what if this didn't happen? What if I never saw him, or what if I didn't meet Hori?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And I think that's like, as life goes on for like most people, we've had like those moments like, what if this incident wouldn't have happened? I wouldn't have met this person, or this certain events wouldn't happen. And I really dig that in this episode. Like it really explores that like idea of it, but like at the same time, like don't dwell on it, because like just be happy like where you're at now, and like whatever happened in the past, you accept how it is and you move forward to the future.
Yeah.
And it handled it really well in this episode. I really enjoyed it a lot with Miyamura and his whole character arc, overcoming his past.
That was graduation.
And then it was graduation. We say goodbye to everyone, and everyone are still going to be friends and go on a road trip and do all good stuff.
Some good old times to be had, for sure.
There's one sweet ending I liked was with the green hair girl, Sakura.
Yeah.
Hers was like, I think, my most favorite.
Yeah, she had like the most content, I guess. Like she was the most she had the most conclusiveness to her arc.
Yeah, because she was legit prepared for the next step in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she has no regrets. I really like she really stands out to me a lot. So yeah, man, it's just beautiful ending, honestly.
Oh yeah,
beautiful ending.
It's a shame that like with how conclusive this is, there's no room for a second season.
No.
And I'm kind of glad. This at the same time, I'm also kind of glad because I would rather them not half-ass a second season rather than to. I'd rather them to keep it like in one season than to just half-ass a second season.
Yeah.
So.
No, this was a great first season just by itself, and just
oh yeah,
beautiful present wrapped it nice bow.
Yeah. And I guess we're gonna move on to our ratings.
Yes, final rating.
Yep. I guess I'll start off like always. I thought this show was quite beautiful, to be honest. Like this was a very fulfilling love story type of anime. It definitely looked into all sorts of avenues. Like it was very widespread and kind of like what it was looking for in terms of like, you know, whose arcs to explore and kind of who's to stay with. But at the same time, it also kept it very close-knit at the same time. Like, it didn't just dwell on, like, other issues that was, like, you know, suddenly popped out of nowhere. It's just like, okay, we're going to focus on Hori, we're going to focus on Miyamura, we're going to focus on their close-knit of friends. And that's pretty much all you really need. But at the same time, it explored a lot of different facets, a lot of different avenues with each and every person's outlook, especially Miyamura's.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm glad that they went above and beyond with all that. Animation looks, you know, really good too, really solid for what it is, you know, being a slice of life, you know, romance anime and everything. And it was just a fantastic watch all around. I definitely recommend it to anybody that just wants a good time, that wants to see like a cute couple, you know, get together and everything, and you know, go through all this. So my rating is a good 8 out of 10. I think it's a really good solid 8, and I would definitely recommend this to anybody that's looking for a nice, you know, slow anime. Not anything action heavy, but just somebody that wants a nice romance anime.
Yeah, I agree with you as well, and much more. Like, there are some subjects that like I think they handle it really well. Like I was mentioned before with the Sakura and her episode. I think that really like I related it so badly. Like it was like too real, and they handle a lot of like real topics, like, and what real couples do and overcome at the same time. So this anime does it really well. Hori and Miyamura are great characters. I really believe in the relationship, and I really hope, like, you know, I know the show's over, but like they get married and you have a cute family and stuff. And I really, and that's what you really want in your slice of life. Like, you just want, like, you know, them to be happy, and like, and you enjoy the ride getting there. And I'm with you as well, Robbie. An 8 out of 10.
Nice.
I really recommend it to anyone that likes these type of animes. It's just very wholesome and good old times. What about you, David?
For a short romance, you know, 12 episodes, this was actually, there was a lot of what do you call it? A lot of development from a lot of characters.
Oh yeah.
No one was left behind on this show. I guess other than the what was his name? The cute dude, or what was the
Yanagi.
handsome boy?
Yeah, Yanagi. Yeah.
He wasn't that that evolved. But
he got introduced. He got introduced late. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Like he was a latecomer to all this.
But other than that, the rest of the cast, you know, they had their story. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed every character. No one was annoying. No one was no one was a bother. Everyone connected with Miyamura, since, you know, Miyamura is the center of everyone.
Yeah.
Since the beginning, and that's what I liked about the show. Because, you know, even though it was not all about him, there was some connection towards him that ended up all of them connecting as one. And that's what I liked about the show. His inner struggles and everything that happened within episode 1 to 12, where his transformations, where he was going back and forth, he finally became what he was at the end, where he could finally show that he's himself, you know, instead of portraying like a thug outfit, or, you know, stuff like that.
He doesn't have to like project.
Yeah,
it's just somebody he's not.
He's being himself, and that was cool about it too, because you saw his original style versus his new style, well, his new style is himself. So his old style was like, oh, I am you, and then he just fades away. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I really liked about it. And this show, I give it an 8.5.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
It was a good show, and I recommend this show.
Yeah, we're gonna miss this one a lot.
Yeah, another one we have to say goodbye to, but we have to move on.
Yep. And moving on, of course, we're gonna be talking about Wonder Egg Priority, episode 12.
Yes.
This one's a weird one.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Of course, as this show kind of proves from time to time again, it's a very weird show with a very interesting setup and whatnot. And this episode's no different because the next girl to come out of the egg.
Who is it? Who is it?
In a way.
It's Ai herself from a parallel world and never met Koito.
Nani?
This is the first time we get introduced to a parallel world.
Yeah, so parallel worlds are a thing.
I think they handled it well.
They did, yeah.
They handled it really well, like especially like now that this episode's really centered about Ai and her, like both eyes is passed.
Yeah.
And then I think they did a good job, man. Like I thought once the introduction of parallel worlds were in, I was like, oh no, here we go.
Yeah. Especially like when like she popped out of her own egg. I'm like, what? It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and like we had that suspicion of like the teacher being like weird and creepy, and it shows in this episode how he can be.
But it's interesting at the same time because it's not fully confirmed if that's really what she thought of him as, or if that was just like if that was really what he was like, or if that was just her own projection, or like her other self's projection of what he's like.
Yeah, 'cause it's pretty hard to tell like how these parallel works. To tell you the truth, like, is this like a opposite place? The one is missing than the other. I'm like, apparently her friend didn't exist during that time, so she ended up dying.
Yeah, because what it's hinting at is the fact that either she like legit committed suicide at the school pool, or she accidentally fell in, and then Koito, like in our version of Ai, Koito came in to take her, to save her.
Yes.
So there's a lot of hints. This anime is almost never straightforward, but it does throw enough breadcrumbs where you're not like totally lost.
Yeah.
Actually.
One more question. Why are they where is the Wonder Egg location, or where do they go into that they come into this weird world? What is that weird world?
Like I guess it depends on like the location. It's kind of weird to say, but like they never do explicitly show like how they actually go in, because from like a geographical perspective, it's like they get recruited in. The house is kind of like the hub.
Yeah.
That's where they meet Aka and Ura Aka, and then they kind of go off with their egg. They hatch it. And then the hatching comes from basically whatever location they're in.
I think in this episode it gave that hint because one of our characters, she tries to go back into the world.
Oh, she does, yeah.
And
she tries to go in through the slide.
Yeah, but she doesn't get accepted no more because her job is, she lost, and she lost
she lost her pet.
Yeah, her pet and her mental state, and she just wants revenge, and the brothers are like, no, she's done.
So is this like limbo, or what is a facility?
I think it's like limbo. It kind of reminds me a lot like Persona in a sense, where it's like the cognitive reality sort of thing, where it's like, oh, this is like the realm between dream and reality sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
No, I think David said it best. Like, it is like limbo. Like, the spirits, like the dead, like can't find a way to heaven or hell.
Yeah. It
reminds me like Death Parade, kind of.
Yeah.
Like
honestly, yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. So it was other than that, the animation was solid, man. It's on. Woo. So beautiful it was.
Yeah, for like a quote-unquote final episode.
Yeah.
For a quote-unquote final episode, this had a really, really good animation.
The fight was good, and like the whole basically the ending of like that spectacular moment with Ai and her shattered moment. It was awesome to look at.
Oh yeah.
Very beautiful to see.
And of course, the thing that always happens whenever you save enough people, your friend comes back to life, but then the person shows up.
Yeah.
The little bug-headed girl shows up.
These little-
A different one.
Yeah.
And this one, almost like she attacks Ai, but at the process she takes out her eye. But then the other eye comes in, and then she sacrifices her eye to give her eye to Ai.
Holy shit! Oh, this is so confusing. All right, so
It's because you see her cry, and that was the eye from the other.
That was Ai from the other eye, but she gave to the main eye because the main eye was missing her eye.
yes, so to make it easier for everyone to hear,
The girl gave her other eye to the.
no, not give. She took it. She yanked the color eyes of Ai
The other
of the timeline eye, and it was basically her sacrifice instead of like the pet that we've seen before.
Yeah.
'Cause even Ai herself knew, like, once it came in, like, she immediately recalled it back.
Yeah, because she knew what was coming.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty smart, and like I'm also like scared to see what happens because this is not the end.
This is not the last episode, no. Even though it stated that episode 12 was going to be the last episode, we actually have an actual legit final episode that will be premiering on June 29th.
Yes. We're
So-
gonna have to wait for 2-3 months
Yeah.
for the finale. My guess is it's gonna be like an hour spectacular, and they're gonna take their time making because this anime has been really solid in their animations.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
the fight, so maybe they want to make it a big bang. That's what I'm feeling like, and like just overcome this big plot with Frill and like her plan, and hopefully get the brothers a sweet ending.
Yeah, because all four of those bug creatures are out, right?
Yes. No.
Not Nehru.
Not Nehru. She hasn't done hers yet. We haven't seen her overcome that.
I thought. Oh, wait, no, then thought it wrong. But yeah, continue.
But yeah, that's we hope to see that. It sucks that it's not the finale, but at the same time, it didn't make sense to be the ending.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But either way with that, it still was a great episode all around. So yeah, we can't give a rating.
Nope, not yet. We gotta wait a good solid few months before we can do that.
And that's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Next.
On to the next anime. We have High Rise Invasion, episode 6. And this episode was weird.
This one's another. If you guys haven't noticed, this is definitely a trend.
Yes.
In this week's episode is accepting yourself. First we had Miyamura accepting himself,
Yes.
and we have Ai accepting herself, and now the next on the chopping block on basically not accepting but more like fighting herself is Nisei.
Yes.
Because a couple episodes ago she wore her mask, and at first she thought it was defective, but turns out it was not.
No.
She just has a strong enough willpower to actually block it off for a good while, but fortunately it's not enough, and it's kind of catching up to her.
Yep, it's pretty. I kind of like that whole aspect of it, because like how come she can just take it off and not get affected by it, and then this episode explains like, nah, she can't.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to get her.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see. And what else happened? I guess we get backstory of the sniper guy.
Yeah, we find out that apparently he was really close to Yuri's brother, in
Yes.
particular Rika, and we don't exactly know why. We just know that before he wore his mask, that he was desperately fighting off these masked people. He lost, and as basically punishment, they put a mask on him. And when he was about to go, and that's how he got his amnesia. And when he was about to go for Rika, Rika was crying. Basically knew that like this is what happened to his fate. They knew each other apparently.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to see. Like we kind of knew there was something between the two, but like to see like now in form is like, oh, okay, now this is like reassuring, like these two were close, probably like best friends or something like that. And yeah, man, I can't wait to see what becomes of the sniper mask. And I think that was it. This one was pretty self-explanatory, honestly.
Yeah, I mean it was a weird episode because it mostly focused on Nisei and her trying to fight like the masked self, and her going into basically almost shutdown mode.
Yeah.
So she only has like a couple hours to live. And Yuri, it kind of shows that like in this episode in particular, like she becomes like definitely more of like a main character now.
Yeah.
Like she's not just like afraid and everything. Like she's able to take down these masked dudes like left and right now. So that's definitely something. So now she's got to find a god candidate mask to actually do what she got to do to save Nisei. And so we'll find out next episode for that.
Yeah, short and simple, this one.
Very much so, yeah.
So with that, we move on to the next anime.
Yep. No, move on to our next anime, SK8 the Infinity, episode 12, and this is, of course, the last episode of our anime for this one. For SK8.
Yes.
For fun.
Yep.
For fun. The final beef between Adam versus Langa or Snow.
Yeah, and it was pretty intense because, of course, last episode we saw Adam not lose. I mean, he obviously won against Reki, but at what cost kind of thing.
It was barely.
He basically, his whole pride, his persona pretty much shattered right then and there. And he took on this really edgy kind of vengeance, like a Grim Reaper kind of look.
I like this look.
Skull bones,
I like
mask
this new
and
look.
everything.
I think it was pretty edgy.
Do you like the heart that was cut off from his back? Yeah, with the spine.
That was cute. And his board was dope.
Yeah,
Like
the
coffin.
cross.
No, first it was a
coffin.
Coffin and then cross.
Transformed into a cross. But for the final beef, I think it was a very intense race.
It was.
You changed locations now.
Oh yeah, it was a whole
Yeah.
change of location. The lighting was cool.
Yeah, the factory was flooded, so they had to change to a location where it's more cemetery themed. So
No, the thing is that what I liked about it is that the starting line became the finish line.
Oh, because it was up to the top and then all the way down instead of like the other way around.
yeah.
So that was cool. But yeah, man, the race was intense and like there was a lot of Adam was pulling no punches, doing a bunch of combos.
Yeah, he was going left and right. He went for the hug, and then he went to the skateboard attack. that was intense.
Multiple combos.
Dude, I think the best moment was when both of them clashed.
Oh, the vine swinging! Like he was swinging off a vine, and he was coming back, and then he had like the skateboard, and then Langa blocks it with his skateboard.
That was intense. That was dope.
That was the most realistic bout of skateboarding I've ever seen. That was brilliant.
Yes, that's so cool. But like we like to go back to our theme of finding yourself.
Yeah.
this anime does it as well with Langa.
Yeah, Danga's dad comes back from the dead to basically
because Adam ends up putting him Langa in a trance. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, he was in the zone.
In the zone, baby. Which they like to be. Well, Adam likes to be in because it escapes from reality. But Langa was like, nah, fam. This ain't how to live.
Gotta have fun.
Gotta have fun.
He looked at his
Skating
board.
is fun.
Yeah, looked at his board that Reki made and big old F.
And then
for
James
fun.
McLeod, Langa's dad comes back and just mentions like, are you having fun, son? Of course, Dad.
Yes, Dad, I am. And man, this was just a great time.
It was, yeah.
Amazing race, a great finale to it. But there is one pet peeve of the ending with the after credits that we all reacted to.
Yeah, it was poor Shadow. Oh man, Shadow was done dirty. I mean, like,
I know, look, he was with his white outfit, ready to, talk to his girl. He had his flowers. And then he moves his flowers a little bit down, and then we see the girl he likes, and there was the guy there.
Yeah,
her boyfriend. So it turns out she was not single.
her sugar daddy.
Yeah, so. it was upsetting, and the worst part of it is that they could have just cut these 3 seconds, and like we wouldn't have had any issues. Like it was like, did they or did they not? You know, it's like we didn't need to know.
I think it fit for the character because he was a joke character.
Yeah.
But like just had the joke ending for him.
Yeah, he rides on his skateboard down the hill.
Yeah, crying. Yeah, but you know, for us, we're like, oh man, you didn't have to do him like that.
Yeah, it's
he deserved a happy end.
He did after what he had to go through. Almost died.
Oh yeah.
I'm grateful.
Yeah, you got jumped.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like, all's well that ends well. Everybody everybody kind of like comes, camaraderie comes in, friendship saves the day. Adam learns to embrace, to have fun, embrace skateboarding as like a passion and not just like, to kind of cast out,
Yes, it's escapism.
Yeah.
So yeah, a great ending to a really solid show, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't, towards the end, I didn't like the whole officer kind of thing. I'm like, why did you have to bring in that lady?
Oh, yeah, that character was wasted.
There were some, like, I guess we might as well just go on to talking about our solid, our rating and solid feelings of the show itself.
Okay.
So this show, Skate was a solid show. Like, honestly, for a skateboarding show, it was really entertaining. The fight, I guess this quote unquote fights, the races, are a lot, really, really fun to watch. There was just a lot that you can just get out of, for in terms of like person to person races, and they focused a lot of their time. A lot of their time is mostly focused on Adam and Longa in particular.
Yeah.
Adam, and his kind of like loner status, and then of course Longa being like the snowboarding dude that doesn't know anything. He just kind of comes in, coming from Canada, learning the ropes of skateboarding up until he kind of like gets to the top, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's really exciting. Problem though is that there are a few issues, of course, and that's mostly comes from the fact that everybody else kind of, once they kind of get introduced, that's kind of it for their character.
Yeah.
Shadow, he was really cool the first couple episodes, and then he's still like a recurring character, but he kind of got turned into a joke character for no real reason, really.
Yeah.
And I understand why, is because of the fact like, he's a flower shop dude, it's like he's trying to woo his girl, from the flower shop. But of course that didn't really lead to anywhere, They had to, of course, because he's a joke character now, they had to do that to him. But I'm like, come on, man, you didn't have to do it like that. Like, that was unnecessary. I know, going back to that. And then Mia, of course, like, that was like 2 episodes top for Mia, and then that was it.
His introduction, and I think like the trip.
Yeah. And then, of course, like you said, David, the officer lady that shows up in the opening, half an episode, if any at all, and maybe a few snippets here and there in a couple episodes, and that's it.
There are some like aspects of characters that only get an episode 2. Like, I think my biggest crime is Cherry Blossom.
Yeah.
Like, we know what he does outside of skating a lot, but like when he's skating, he gets one race and it's not even that entertaining.
Yeah. I think I wanted to know more about him because we didn't get any like, how does he come up with his tech?
His tech board.
They never explained it. They never explained his tech.
Why is he so interested in his mechanics?
Yeah.
They never explained his tech, and like the funny thing is, like, even though we go really in depth into Adam and kind of like his secret love for skating, they never really went in too deep on like his business or anything. Or
no.
Like what the family does, why they're rich or anything. No, it's just he's rich.
Yeah.
He works for this politician that's shady and corrupt.
And that's it.
That's he might get arrested because that's it. Yeah.
So they really don't dive into it, and like it didn't really need to be there, honestly.
No.
I mean, it's cool that Adam was this a big politician, man, but like other than that, you're like, why even going more deep if you don't care?
Yeah. So I mean, like, and then Reki, of course. We already went into him.
Oh yeah, throughout
like,
the whole season.
At first, we legit thought that Reki was like the main character. I mean, like, even though he got a spotlight episode, that like last episode, that was pretty much it. Nothing else really to really talk about with him, but. So overall, like, again, like the anime is super solid. Manga, all of them great characters, but like, wish we had a lot more to kind of say. I feel like this anime would have definitely benefited if it was like maybe a 24 episode anime rather than like just 12.
I think so.
But
maybe.
maybe they just only could what they could. So
yeah.
Overall, I give this anime a good 7 out of 10. I feel like this anime was definitely surprising. I did not expect this anime to be as good as it was. I thought it was going to be like average at best, but I think a good solid 7 definitely is definitely a good fit for this anime all around. So that's my rating for it. What about you, Omar?
Yeah, for me, man, even though we had these problems, these gripes of the characters, either way, I think I really enjoyed when it came down to the beefs and like just how crazy and bombastic these races were. Like if we're talking about races, obviously Adam's a big star, Joe, when he came into the race, I think he had a really big moment, like of just how, like, why his muscles were so important.
Mm-hmm.
and then Reki himself, he had some very cool races, especially with the race against Adam. I think
coming from what you said too, though, the thing I had to beef more too is like I wanted more races from other characters.
No, yeah.
Even more, just to see them skate more, other than just a little sneak peek, and then that's it.
Yeah, it mostly only just focused on Langa and Adam, if
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, just those two mainly.
Yeah.
Oh, continue.
But yeah, like other than that, I think I really enjoyed my time. Like Shadow's a cool character. I wish we would have got into more. And then obviously Adam, very fun character. So with me, I think I give it a 6.5. Like it is a real surprise that how good this show was. Like but yeah, man, animation is also solid. I think it works really well, especially like when it comes to the races. And yeah, man, I wish we had more time with it, but it is what it is. And we did have that intermission episode, that flashback, so which kind of lowered the rating for me as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So anything, it's like 11 episodes.
Oh, the 9.5.
Yeah, the 8.5.
Or 8.5. Yeah, it's 8 or 9.
It's one of those.
Yeah, one of them.
So like, I have to deduct it for that. What about you, David?
Yeah, I had just the issue with Langa a little bit, and then Reki was in there. He's just like the coach character at that point.
Yeah.
He was like Kuwabara in like Yu Yu Hakusho. He's like the friend character.
Yeah.
It's just kind of it, basically.
He's just the guy that backed him up a bit, and that's where I'm like, I wish they worked even more together, but it was hardly just it was just more to Langa. The only thing that made Langa, more, I guess, what he is with Reki cheering him on. But that's mostly on every character,
Yeah.
secondary characters. So Langa was the main character, and he was kind of boring.
I think it was a mistake to have him as a main character. I think it should have been Reki. Like personality-wise, I think Reki's more interesting.
Yeah.
I see that a lot. And then characters, I wish we got more races with them. It was like we got tiny small races, and then that was it. The longer races were with Adam, and that was the best parts of them too.
Yeah.
I love those races, but I would want to see the other races too with the other guys, not just those two or any other small little ones. I think my rating wise would be 6.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're all pretty much around the same boat.
On the same boat, which still saw a show. Honestly.
Yeah. Like I said, like 5 is like the average. It's that's like a C.
Yeah.
So if it's above that, then
Yeah.
scale it around there.
Yeah, really. I would recommend if you're like into like skating. I mean, it's at this point it wasn't true to the skating form like in real life, but
you already know these animes.
Yeah, it has
sports anime.
It has that anime fun into it, so
it has to have that anime-ness into it.
So yeah,
gonna miss this one.
Yeah, I'm also gonna miss it. And with that, we move on to our next anime that is not ending. It is still continuing.
Still gonna be with us.
And is now officially our longest anime. Dragon Quest Dai, episode 26.
Yep.
And Dai still baby.
Dai is still infant baby, as Crocodile has mentioned. He is still an infant pretty much, and he even mentions that like, hey, if Baran comes in and Dai sees him, he's probably gonna imprint him as his father. So let's not have that.
Yeah, but like,
but hey, this episode ain't about Dai.
Nope.
It's about Pop.
Pop being a real hero, man.
Yep.
Well, at first he was being an ass because he had to, so he could go alone.
Yeah, I liked that scene because like I was like the character. I was like, what the hell, Pop? Why are you doing this? Why are you going back to your roots? But
I had a feeling
but like it really showed like how
it was kind of dumb though. Why would he go alone?
I mean, because he didn't want the other characters to get hurt.
But I think also like even though he said
it hurts me. Why would he go alone? I already had that feeling he was gonna do that.
I think a big reason why is because he knew that this was gonna be a losing battle. So if anything, like he knew that these three like were gonna be really strong. They're strong as Legion commanders. So all right, I'm gonna try and do my best to hold them down. At least take 1 or 2 of them with me. Like, he knew he was gonna go on a suicide mission, pretty much.
He basically wanted to become a speed bump. That way, the other members have enough time to plan or like make something up that would defend Dai against Dai's dad, which they know it's a force to be reckoned with. So I really like that moment, like
a suicide mission.
Oh yeah,
it really shows that Pop, like I know I always say, like Pop really is really coming to his character. Like he is brave.
Yeah.
Like he may be a fool, but like when it really shows a lot that he is the hero. Like that not a lot of people appreciate, and Pop's awesome.
Yeah, I mean he puts in work too. Like when he used that spell, like he took out a few dragons.
Yeah.
And like a few of the actual dragon commander's dragons too. He blew that one of them like heads open.
That was dope.
Yeah.
That was really cool to see Pop, not being the wimp. Because I always remember Pop being the wimp that we started off with. To see him now, I was like, man,
he's evolved a lot.
He's so evolved, and I like that.
I thought it was funny, that little scene where he popped one of the dragon's head. He's like, no, end me already. Eat my head.
Yeah.
And then he sticks out his arm, and then
part of his
that balloon, that dragon like a balloon.
Yeah,
it was part of his plan, man. Pop learning, Pop becoming his character, and I really liked the command, the what was his name, Galdandi.
Yeah,
one of the commanders, the masters, which is like the bird, and he his powers were cool. I really like the emphasis of his feathers and his colors.
Yeah,
I think that was done really well, and like what they do.
Yeah, the white drains MP, and the red feathers drain HP.
Yeah, and I thought, that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart of you to do, like to see why they're so powerful. Like just see, like especially it's just the one. Like the other two kind of like they show their powers kind of, but not really as much as
they'll probably show us next.
Oh yeah.
Well, next episode we are, because guess who comes back, baby?
Who comes back?
Hyunkel. Hyunkel returns. Hyunkel. This is the first time where Hyunkel like comes into battle without his armor, because that armor's
destroyed.
It's destroyed. Yeah, he doesn't have it
like
anymore.
A wanderer.
Hey, he looks cool though. He looks super cool, and I can't wait to see him back in action.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you wanted it, remember?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So I'm very excited for the next episode of Dragon Quest.
Because this one ain't gonna end anytime soon, I don't think.
No, sir. We're in it for the long haul now.
Yep.
And with that, we move on to the final anime.
Yep, we move on to Attack on Titan, final season, episode 16. But its problem, though, is that this ain't actually the final season, or at least not entirely.
Yes.
Because this is end of part 1.
Yes. The halftime.
Yeah, and this episode didn't really feel like an actual finale. I mean, I guess it had no right or reason to. It's literally just we get more plot development that's been going on thus far, and where it stops, it feels like the end of an actual episode.
Like setting up to the second part.
Yeah, we're not going to be getting that anytime soon, but
I'll give my rating at the end.
Yes, David will give his ratings.
David is going to give his ratings. I don't have any reason to, because this is a weird place to end, because
continue,
yeah, I don't know where to continue from. I guess other than like Eren is again showing all of us that he's gone full psycho.
Yes.
He's basically saying that like, Marley's finished. We got everybody injected with spinal fluid now, and so all we're waiting is Zeke to come back. And obviously Zeke's not dead.
Yes, because Zeke always has something up his sleeve. That damn bastard.
Yeah, Omar was disappointed.
I was so mad, but it kind of confirmed if Zeke's not dead, then Levi's not dead.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So at this point, like, it's just kind of like everywhere at this point. We got 3 factions. We got the Jaegerists, we got Paradise Island, and we got Marley.
Yep.
And yeah, I want to ask you, Omar, like, where are your thoughts? What are your thoughts in terms of like sides and kind of like what sides what?
I think this season of Attack on Titan really asked me that question hard.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, obviously I was on one side.
Yeah. And
then when the twist happened with Eren and the Jaegerists coming into play, it really asked me the question, like, who am I with? Like, who do I follow? Who's in the right and who is the wrong? And like, there is no right answer to that, because everyone has their reasons, and it makes sense. Like if you believe in that reason, then that's the right choice for you.
Yeah.
But like, it's hard to say like who's in the right and who's in the wrong. So with me, I really couldn't pick a side, and at this point, I was like, you know what, I'm just on Levi's side, because honestly, Levi's been like, he is the tragic hero. He is the one, like, I feel like he is in the right the most of the time, and he suffers the most.
Yeah.
And I want him to live in the end. And if he doesn't, I'm gonna cry like a baby. Or at least kill Zeke in the end, taking him out suicide style, some way of that fashion. And so that's my choice, because honestly, each side has their own wrongs, has their faults.
Yeah, because even in this episode, it was like, yeah, Marley for the longest time was like kind of built up to be the bad guy, but like, you know, especially with what's been going on here, like Pete comes in, you know, saves Gabby, and so it's kind of showing us that, like, oh, I guess, you know, she's in the right, because, you know, we set up to basically have Galliard come in and boom, you know, take out Aaron's arms, Aaron's legs and stuff. And
I'm curious. So when that happened, are they still part of Marley, or are they doing their own thing?
Who, like Peek and all them? Or?
Yeah, they're still part of Marley.
Yeah, Peek is Marleyan. Yeah. Peek is still for Marley. Okay. The only person that defected from that side is Zeke. Zeke is not. He's not part of that anymore.
Yeah, he's with Aaron.
He's with Aaron. They're the Jaegers.
Okay, I was making sure. I thought there was gonna be a fourth group.
Nah, I think
they don't like the people in Marley.
I think
those three.
I think you're getting confused because how
she worded it.
Yeah, how the girl
because at first she was like, oh, I'm don't worry, I'm on your side.
Yeah, but
I'm all for Eldia.
Yeah, but it was just all a part of her plan.
Yeah.
Which was pretty smart. Good plan. But yeah, that basically sets up for the next part 2 of the final season.
Yeah.
Marley coming to attack now.
So I give this one an 8.
Oh.
So far, yeah.
Okay.
I was entertained with this first part.
Yeah, no, I agree. This first part was
the whole, like, from the beginning to the end, it was pretty entertaining. The whole switch with Aaron was crazy.
Yeah.
The whole time, from being a whiny little brat to he's taking charge, but in his own way, but crazy way.
Yeah.
We don't know what's happening, what's gonna happen with him, other than what you know, Ravi. But other than that, it's entertaining to know what's gonna happen later on. But yeah, for the first part, an 8.
Yeah. And I guess I'm with Robbie. Like, I don't want to rate it yet because there's that second part, and I just want to give it like the whole big overall rating. But if I do have to pick a rating, I would agree with you, David. Like, it was, the beginning was just intense, action packed. Like, everyone was just talking about this show. Like, it was like no tomorrow. It was crazy intense. And then when we come back to the Paradise Island, like even then, it was still like intense drama.
Yeah.
Like, instead of like intense action, it was intense drama. And that's what I really love about Attack on Titan. Is like we could have both things together, and it's not overwhelming.
No.
And it is done very well. And this obviously this part really explained, like, you know, what Zeke's up to, what Aaron's up to, what's everyone up to.
And the cool thing is, you never know where the story's gonna go.
No, you don't.
Even with me, even though I'm caught up with the manga and I'm reading it and whatnot, like I'm rewatching this, you know, in anime form, and I'm like kind of like basically getting like getting reminded of like kind of like, oh, what's going on here, because like a lot of intricate details I don't remember. And so when I'm watching this for the first time, you know, in anime form, I'm like, whoa. Okay, so that's how we got from point A to point B.
Yeah.
All right, that makes a lot of sense.
But yeah, unfortunately, the second part won't be out until next year.
Yeah. It's gonna be a grueling 9 months. They promise it's gonna be out by the beginning of 2022. So we're gonna have to hold out a little bit. I'm hopefully by that point the manga will be all done. Because I think that's probably what they're waiting on right now, is for the manga to finish, because the manga is going on, like it is almost finished, but it is still technically ongoing. So yeah, I'm guessing that's probably what their plan is, to wait for the manga to finish and then come back,
wrap it up in a nice
little bow. And so far they're doing a fantastic job in adapting, unlike Unlike some anime.
Some other animes we don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
And with that wraps up our animes.
Yeah, but of course, like we mentioned before, even though that wrapped up our anime that we've seen, we're gonna be talking about anime that we've seen on our own.
Yes.
Rabbi has 2.
3. I have 3.
me,
Yeah, I have. Yeah, we have 3 with me and David.
Yeah.
The first we're gonna be talking about, or I guess I'm gonna be talking about, is my thoughts on Quintessential Quintuplets Season 2.
Yes.
Now, okay, so again, I've mentioned this in a few episodes before, but we do have timestamps. So if this news just kind of came randomly to you and you guys are watching Quintessential Quintuplets and aren't caught up to Season 1 or Season 2, spoilers ahead. You guys can vacate the area, move on. I want to say that I was pleasantly surprised with this season. I thought, because the manga had ended for Quintuplets, I thought that the story was going to conclude in this season. But I was pleasantly surprised that it didn't. But there were advancements to the plot. Now the main character, was it Futaro, knows that everybody likes him now, and a lot of interesting games are being played here. Certain characters basically confess directly, like Nino, and Yotsuba is kind of like hush hush. He doesn't want to get into anybody else's way, and then Ichika, for whatever reason, she's sabotaging everybody. I don't know why. It's pretty crazy. Like, everybody kind of has their own thoughts and opinions on who Best Girl is. Now, this anime is similar to other manga adapted anime that where I don't know what happens in the manga. So I don't know where it's going, because I do know that the manga ended. But I'm just here for the anime mostly. So whenever that third season comes in, I'm excited to see. This anime is adorable. It's again, it counts as a harem anime, I guess.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, it's a romance anime that just happens to have a harem, I guess. It just kind of helps that there's a 5-in-1 bundle with all this, and yeah, it's a great time. Honestly, I recommend it if you guys are a fan of like romance anime with a little bit of a twist to it that's handled really well. I recommend the first season, and if you guys haven't checked the second season out, you guys already saw the first season, definitely give this a shot. Yeah. I guess all in all, if I want to give it a rating, I give it a good solid 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I think it was a really solid show. It's definitely not up to Horimiya, I think. But I think it was still a great solid season. I can't wait for whenever season 3 comes in, and hopefully we get that ending.
Yeah, man. I know this was one of the biggest shows to come to this season, and it was unfortunate we couldn't cover it because
it is the second season.
Yeah, it is the second season. I didn't have time to watch the first season to catch up, and now that you told me this, hopefully I have time to watch both seasons. Yeah,
it's really cool because the premise, it doesn't come off as like, oh, here's this wacky premise. No, it's literally it's a guy that's really smart, Futaro, but he doesn't really think much of himself.
He's playing Clue.
No, it's mostly that he's hired by this rich family, which is of course the Quintuplets, their father, and he's like, or teach my girls to basically pass their classes because they're doing horribly. Otherwise, they'll fail the year, and that's basically the premise. But it evolves more into a blossoming love. That it's really cute, and
because I heard that this show is particular. He met this girl when he was young, and pretty much that girl is
it's one of them. It's one of the 5, and the cool thing is that they show constantly in flashbacks, or not flashbacks, but flash forwards, that he will eventually marry one of them. So, and he mentions that hey, remember when we met way back then? It's oh yeah, that was really cool, and they show her exactly what she looks like, but she doesn't talk because each of the girls have a different voice actors. Otherwise, I'd give it away.
Yeah.
So they show exactly what she looks like, but obviously she doesn't have her hair dyed or anything like that. There's no distinct feature to tell who she is because they all look the same, other than their hair and their clothes and everything.
Okay, I think the whole premise of it. Now that you said it, David, reminded me of Nisekoi.
Oh yeah.
The whole key thing.
Yeah.
And, the past.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is a lot like Nisekoi in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. I enjoy Nisekoi. First season mostly, but I will still
this
check
one,
it out.
Yeah, this one is very consistent with this first and second season. It's definitely meant to be enjoyed as kind of like a 2-for-1 package, and hopefully, if and when that third season does come out, I could say the same about that season as well.
Yeah. All right.
All right, and now we move on to the next anime. This one is one that we actually covered the first 3 episodes of here.
We ended up dropping.
We ended up dropping it, but
because it was similar to.
It was similar to Horimiya, except not as good.
Yes.
And I caught up with this one, and this is low tier character Tomozaki-kun. And how do I feel about this anime? I really enjoyed it a lot. I like I said, this is definitely a Pretty Woman type situation where it's like you have this character that does not know the meaning of like high class, or I guess in this case like popularity, what's trending and stuff, and he is basically trained to basically be among those people, try to better himself, try to better his fashion sense, better his speech, better his style, everything, his talking, all of that stuff, his sociability, everything. And you see this character grow, and that's pretty much like the whole premise, is that he's growing himself, but then you also kind of see the cracks in like other characters, and the character that's kind of teaching him, Hinami. And you see like the cracks of like how she's trying to be a perfectionist, how she's not totally into the quote unquote game of real life. Because of course the biggest thing of our main character is that he constantly talks about the game, the game of real life and everything. And yeah, overall it's just basically more of that, and he gets involved in student elections, he gets involved in a camping trip, he gets involved in dates pretty even.
Nice.
And and he's just basically kind of like going off line for line, but then slowly but surely he starts seeing cracks in all this, that like, wait a minute, I'm not doing this for whether I want to or not.
Yeah.
I'm doing this based off of like these checks and guidelines that you're setting for me.
Yeah.
So
he no longer becomes himself from what you're saying.
And so that basically comes into clash and kind of like who he is as a person, and kind of like whether or not that kind of goes against his ideals, if he even has ideals. So it's really cool that whole thing gets explored. I just kind of wish we got like more of that, but obviously this is just kind of like me wanting like a second season, because I did enjoy myself with this anime.
Does it set up for a second season?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
It definitely sets up for a second season. I want to see more of this character. Hopefully, in the future, if for whatever reason you guys end up catching up with the show for whatever reason, and they do get a second season.
I didn't have my gripes with this show. The only reason, like we said, we dropped it was because it was very similar to Horimiya.
It was, yeah.
And
you had a little bit of issue with the main character.
I did.
Yeah, the main character was very, very cringe-inducing, and thankfully, like, he does notice that like a lot of what he's saying is like does not make sense, like in the context that he says it in.
Yeah. And
he does bring that up to light, and thankfully he does drop that. Not all of it. There's some inklings of it, but you can definitely tell, like, because I think, Omar, I've shown you like a little, like, I showed you like a poster of what he ends up looking like. He looks like an entirely different character.
Yeah. So
similar to Horimiya.
Oh yeah. Except I feel like with Horimiya, it was like all at once. Like he was able to kind of like cut his hair, change his fashion sense all at once. With Tomozaki, he's like, it's a gradual change. You don't notice it all at once.
Yeah.
But I think there's like a scene in like episode 7 where he sees a reflection of himself, and he's like,
who are you?
Damn, who's this guy? Oh shoot, that's me. I'm him. It was entertaining. There were, of course, like some gripes I had is that I feel like some characters are a little too plasticky. I feel like, but what I mean by that is that I feel like they're not like.
Gimmick?
No, it's just that like they're too perfect in that sense. Like they're popular, but they're not like they don't have faults. But they do have faults though. But their faults are okay, let me explain. But their faults are very like very first worldy. Like it's not like it's like, oh, why am I not as good as Hinami? It's like I want to keep pushing myself to be as good as her, better than her. I don't want to be number 2 in this race.
Yeah, I get you.
Or
unlike like in Horimiya, like the other side characters, they have real problems.
Yeah.
Like with emotions or like real life.
Or like there's this popular dude that's like he's popular with all the ladies and stuff, but he's like, oh, I can never be able to like show my actual face to other people because I don't really care. Yeah, it's kind of like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's my main complaint. Like I feel like the only character that's like actually kind of like real in a sense is our main character Tomozaki.
Yeah.
And the girl that he's like quote unquote like going out with, it's the quiet girl in the library.
Oh,
Her.
the maid.
Yeah, her, yeah.
I really liked her.
Yeah, like she feels like an actual character.
Oh, okay.
Even like Hinami, like she's like she kind of like goes clockwork. She's like, oh, there's no actual fun in this game, and that's real life, It's like you want to kind of. She's very Patrick Bateman-esque, if that makes sense, from American Psycho.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I get it.
Where she has like a routine and everything. Yeah.
She beats the system in her own way.
Yeah, but I guess
Perfection.
moving on to giving my score. I give this one a 6 out of 10. Like I said, you guys are completely right. It is not as good as Horimiya, but it is still a solid show. It's a little bit above average, and I would definitely peep on the second season.
All right, my one question though.
What's up?
Do they still talk about the Smash Brothers clone?
They do.
Okay, cool.
They do. I mean, they don't talk about it as much. Like it was definitely like a major thing in the earlier episodes. Later episodes they bring it up a little bit, but not too much.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still a little bit. It's still a part of them.
All right, cool. Just curious.
Yep. And then the last anime we're going to be talking about, and this is a twofer. Me and David saw this, finished this one up surprisingly. Is ReZero's second season part 2.
Yes, we ended up dropping it for a bit. Well, we dropped it for the halfway point, and I can't wait to hear you guys talk about it.
Yeah. I guess David, you start off because you were the one that was the most conflicted for just the second season as a whole.
The thing is that first part from the season, it's not that I was like, I felt his pain at this point. I was so upset. Now I wasn't upset at the show. I was upset in myself with him. Like if I was with him, that was what made me pissed off throughout the whole part, the first part. And maybe that's where my anger came in through the whole. That's what I felt so passionate of that first part. Because the whole pain. My rating for that one actually changed for the first part, so I'm gonna give it a 7. Cause
what did you rate it originally? I don't remember.
Like a 4.
Yeah, you were low. You were
low.
low.
But now it changed because once this part 2, that's why I love giving ratings. So that's when part 2 comes in.
Yeah.
Whoa, what a change.
Yeah. No, this was a complete 180.
I love it too because you get development way much, like way more. The characters, I started liking Otto and then Garfield as well. And then you started seeing the connection with the other characters. Oh, damn.
No, and you get to see like why Roswell's the way he is because I remember the first time.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the characters.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
It's interesting because like pretty much all the complaints you had from that first part was all ironed out in the second part. Yeah.
I am shocked to hear all this.
It was entertaining. What Roswell did? Woo!
This is such a 180, man. I'm shocked.
Man, thanks to that subscriber, man.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like he pushed us on, and like unfortunately, we didn't cover this week by week, but hey, at least me and David, he ended up being like, okay, I'm gonna be motivated. I'm gonna continue.
I feel like towards the end, I was like, wait, is this turning into an harem? In a way, because it felt like that, didn't it?
Yeah, and then like.
Go.
And the whole manner thing too. That one was that one was really cathartic to watch and everything, and just all around like everybody got development. And like again, I think the biggest part of what makes this second part of the second season like had so much payoff to it was because of the pain that we went through with that first part. Like it definitely elevated everything, and we were feeling what Subaru was feeling with how frustrating everything was. And it was just all around just a fantastic time. It elevated everything that we said, like with part 1, especially with you, David. Like I don't know, like
oh my god, I'm speechless.
Bravo change, man. Just like I did. The whole story with him.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I am ashamed I'm not part of this conversation.
Hey, hopefully that'll give you some motivation.
I think it did. Honestly, I'm just like.
Then with the girl in the library.
Oh, with Beatrice. Yeah.
Beatrice too. I was like, damn. Gave me a little tear.
I know. I was emotional too, especially like every time like Subaru was like, "No, I'm not the guy."
I'm not the guy. Poof. Out of the room.
Oh, and then the Elsa thing.
The whole reason of her being alone and like she doesn't want to be alone. I was like, damn, that reminds me of a guy too.
Yeah.
Another guy was alone too, but he's like, no, you. I was like, wait, where are we going here? Are they falling in love or something?
Yeah.
What happened here?
No, and then like also like the confrontation between like Garfield and Elsa was like that was something else too.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh damn.
The combo.
Otto too, and they all worked together.
Mm-hmm.
They were like a team there.
Yeah.
It was a team effort towards
this climax. I can definitely say that this climax was definitely way more entertaining than the first.
In the back, though.
Oh no!
She was chilling in the little baggie.
In her little like little car seat, little stroller.
Oh my god! Is she still Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah.
Oh okay. That's a shame.
All the way towards the end.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, but at least Ram, like, she pulled her, like, when she held that book.
Oh, and then when we found out with her too.
Yeah.
That she loved him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, all around this was a way more like fulfilling climax, and even like the first season one. Like that one, like the first season was great, but this one, it was.
I wonder that ending though. What happened?
Yeah.
Did he actually go into that room?
Yeah. Absolutely. I guess we could finally give our rating. Gosh, with everything that's been on with this season.
So 7's part.
Part
No,
one.
I'm gonna go first.
Okay, you go first.
So for part 1, I gave it a 4. I went to a 7.
Yeah.
And now for part 2, I'm gonna give it
I'm shocked. I'm scared right now. What is this rating?
a 9.
Oh, I had a feeling, bro. I had a feeling how you were talking about this anime. I was like, oh, this guy's gonna give it a 9 or a 10 right now.
Yeah, I don't remember what I said about like part 1. I think it was like
I think you gave it a
9.
9.
Yeah, 9. I'm definitely no, I'm gonna raise it up a little bit. 9.5.
Oh,
It was up there. Like honestly, like it was all told so well. Like just everything entirely. Like you have to. I feel like the best way to experience the season, and unfortunately we didn't get that luxury, is to watch season 2 in its entirety, part 1 and part 2. It is a compound season that you need to watch in its entirety and just stick with it. Stick with it. Like that first season is gonna feel frustrating, but it's like it's like taking that necessary shot. Taking that necessary kind of like whiplash, build yourself up, and then you get that payoff to part 2.
Well, after hearing David and both you guys, man, I think I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. I'm gonna binge this. I'm excited because I was, obviously.
Oh, we got an opening too.
Oh yeah, we got an opening, but the opening came in like 5 episodes in. Like it was after we dropped it too.
Oh,
surprisingly.
wow.
Yeah, we finally get an opening.
It's weird with ReZero. Like they don't like showing the opening.
No, they rarely show the opening. We saw it like I think like twice. I think
the first season.
No, like even
the
in
first
this
part,
one, even in the second part, it's like twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Oh, of course. With also, what's her name?
Emilia?
Emilia too.
Yeah.
She got a lot of story too. She changed.
Oh.
Oh, she changed drastically.
Oh,
Emilia is really high up there now.
She's so adorable.
I know.
Too.
Hey, where do babies come from?
Oh, that was so cute, man.
Oh, the meme.
Yeah, it was so adorable.
Yeah.
The whole conversation that we're having. Too.
Yeah.
Kind of. It is a harem.
Oh yeah.
You don't know who to choose at this
No.
point.
Everybody's best girl now.
Wow.
But yeah, so that was our anime that we saw on our own.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna have another list similar to this next season too. But look forward to that. And now we finally move on from actual anime into news. And
Yes.
we only got 2.
Yeah. Very short news.
Very short news. And I guess another King of Fighters 15
Yes,
trailer.
It's kind of our weekly thing.
This time it's King.
Yes, the king's back.
Yeah, and the funny thing about this one is that this one, before we got the actual legit reveal trailer, we actually had a silhouette. And so people were there were 3 candidates that people thought it was. It was obviously King. Another one was Whip, that was a DLC character from 14.
Yes.
And another one was, for whatever reason, some people said Ash Crimson?
Ash Crimson?
Yeah. You remember Ash Crimson?
Nah.
He was the protagonist of the Ash Crimson arc. from KOF 2003 to 13. He's the guy that looks like a girl because he has like nail polish and makeup. He was the protagonist.
Oh, blonde hair dude.
Blonde hair guy, yeah, with the green fire.
The little curve to the
Little
side.
little curved bob haircut, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
That's
Interesting.
Ash Crimson.
People want him back.
I guess so, yeah.
But it's King. And,
It's King.
And that's one of your favorite characters, right?
Oh yeah. King and Yuri are like my two favorite characters to use in combat, and like it's fitting because they're both best girls from the Art of Fighting games. King obviously has her signature Muay Thai style of combat. She mostly uses her kicks. She has Venom Strike and Venom Crush and whatever. And she's back.
Yeah, I feel like as King, she's kind of like with Terry or like Kyo, like they
Mainstays.
Yeah, they are mainstays. Like they're gonna be back, and it's always just good to see them in the roster.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see. King's cool. It's not my play style, but
Yeah.
But I'm glad that she did make it in the roster, and I like her kind of like redesign, kind of like they kept it very traditional. In this one,
Yeah.
just like Terry.
I feel like this game in particular is kind of meant to go back to tradition. It's meant to kind of go back to what we are used to from older King of Fighter games. That's why, of course, like we mentioned before a few times, Kyo with his headband and everything, Terry with his OG look.
But I love to see like the redesigns of like Iori with his jacket. Looks goddamn gorgeous.
Iori, it's interesting too because I feel like Iori has a lot of similarities with his KOF 13 design.
Yeah, with the purple jacket.
Yeah, the purple jacket and like the flared up collar and everything.
But this time it's like a sexy smoky jacket.
Yeah.
So is King also part of the team?
She was the Art of Fight. Well, she was originally she was part of the women's fighting team. So it was her.
It up, maybe?
I don't know. They didn't really place her in a team because the thing is that King was originally part of the women's fighting team, which consisted of her, Yuri, and Mai. Did we get a trailer for Mai? We did.
Yeah,
right?
we already
talked. Yeah, she was like the first one. Yeah, she was one of the first ones. So it's interesting because like they didn't lump them with like. Because those three are already here.
Yeah, but
they don't have a team together.
No,
I don't think
they didn't.
If they did, they would have put it on there.
Teams.
Yeah. So if anything, it's probably just gonna be like a King of Fighters team. So we're probably just gonna have Ryo, and then there we go. It's probably gonna be Ryo, Yuri, and King.
What about Roberto, man?
Who knows?
Give him some love, man.
Who knows what's gonna happen with Robert?
Yeah, and who do you think is gonna be next for next week?
Next week, I don't know. I'm really hoping for a KOF 13 character. I want Shenwu. I want good old maybe Ash Crimson. Who knows?
Nah, you know who I want, man. Since this guy's in, Shermie. You gotta bring Shermie back.
Since Yashiro's here,
Yes.
bring Shermie and Chris.
Yes.
I'm surprised you didn't say Mr. Big.
Oh man, that would be the dream. That is a character I did not think I would love, but after playing him so long, it's just like, that's a classic.
He's only in one game.
Yeah.
I want my dream character is Duck King. I want Duck King.
Yeah, Duck King's awesome.
Bring his mohawk and his little duck friend.
His little dance at the end when you get a win. Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, right, we got a mainstay character, the trailer, so we'll see what we get next week.
Yes, you'll see next week.
Now, here's a little less optimistic news. Omar, you want to do the honors?
Yes. Our final news of the day.
Leaving on a bummer note.
The PlayStation Store is unfortunately coming to a close for the PS3, the PSP on July 2nd, and as well as with the PS Vita on August 27th.
A lot of peace.
Yes. So this is bummer news because it's been so long of this store being up, and obviously from their prime, and coexisting with the PS3, the PS4, and now with the PS5.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that they're gonna shut down these systems, online stores down.
It's a real shame, and especially considering that they're essentially just closing off all three of them, like pretty much like back to back. Like the PS3 and PSP, like oh my goodness, like the PSP has been around since 2004.
Yeah.
You gotta think about this, that they're shutting down online services for a console that's been out for almost 17 years.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we're done. Kaput.
I mean, it was fun while it lasted, man. Like, you knew it was not gonna last forever.
No.
But
especially with that Vita.
But like, if you're looking for a very exclusive, only on the store game, I recommend to get it now as soon as possible. Like, Street Fighter Third Strike. Get that soon.
Well,
So-
actually, since it's online edition, does that mean that the online's gonna close?
Eventually, but like
Yeah.
it's just like the fact of just having it, because it
Yeah.
is
Oh, yeah.
it is the best version of that. Like,
Yeah,
Street Fighter.
yeah. Unfortunately, the 30th anniversary Legacy Collection's not that great. So
Yeah.
the online edition is the definitive edition for Third Strike.
Or like, you know, Darkstalkers the collection,
Mm-hmm.
that will be gone as well. So just get anything that's exclusive in the
A
store.
lot of classic RPGs too. Like if you were to ever wanted to play the original Persona 4 or Persona 3, then that's your way to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much all the classic Persona games are like that too. There's like Persona 1, 2, all that.
Yeah, so
All just exclusive to that.
So yeah, get them while you can, and then just have it in your library while it sits there. And but maybe they'll come back in the PS5, you know, or bring them to the PS4. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that Marvel 2 port.
Eventually, one day.
Yeah. So.
Or maybe they're closing it so they could put it on their streaming the PlayStation Now thing.
I'd be okay with that. Like, I think that would give me motivation to actually
'cause
want to
no-
get PS
No
Now.
one's getting PS Now. There's
No.
nothing in it.
Mm.
There's no good like they have good games, but not as many in their library.
Yeah,
And
not-
I think maybe that's what's gonna bring people into it instead of purchasing it on the store. Like
Yeah.
by single, like, oh look, you could have this whole library.
Yeah,
That
like
makes
it's not
sense. The only way
something
I
that's
could see it.
yeah, it's not something that like screams like, you know, your attention. Like, oh, yo, you gotta get PS Now.
Like-
I feel like if anything, they might want to do the same thing that Nintendo's doing, and like, you know, say if you get PlayStation Plus with PS Now, then you have access to like their PlayStation 1 library and like the PlayStation 2 library and stuff like that.
Oh, like the Super Nintendo collection.
Yeah, with the NES and SNES thing that
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
on the
yeah.
Switch, you could
Yeah.
be able to do it like that.
Yeah, I
Get
mean,
an online
that,
connection and
that
just
is the
play
route that all these game consoles are going to. I mean, off the success of the Xbox Game Pass, that's really successful for them.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, I could see that. So there is a bright light in the end of it, but
yeah,
unfortunately, the store will be closed,
yeah.
and we will miss it and all the beautiful games they had inside.
It's a bummer news, but hey, you know, to lighten up, to end things off with some good news, we got a whole brand new fresh batch of anime that's going to be coming out next week.
Yes.
And a new setup.
And a new setup.
Yes.
So goodbye our current mic that we're using. Gonna have our new mic, and we're gonna have our new host Josh join.
Yes.
He's only been in those 2 throwback episodes, but starting next week he's gonna be in our actual main cast of podcast hosts.
Yes, so we're looking forward to the future, and it is gonna be tough to say goodbye to the winter season of animes, and it's gonna be my pedestal of what the season is gonna bring.
For sure. And yeah, with that wraps up this week's episode of the Anime Squad podcast. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you guys love to see our stuff. And with that, my name is Robbie,
And this is Omar.
And this is David.
and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.